Hey family, welcome back to another episode of Healing Out Loud. I am so grateful you're here with me today. Whether you've been here with me from the beginning or this is your very first episode, welcome. I can't believe we are already on episode 6. Every week, we've been building on the last conversation. And today, we're stepping into something that really has the power to shift how you see yourself, how you come through obstacles, how you move in your relationships, and how you understand your healing journey. Because today, we're talking about emotional awareness, repeating patterns, and the things we keep doing without realizing why. And I want you to hear this clearly. From the beginning, you are not stuck because you don't know better. A lot of times, you're stuck because you're repeating patterns you haven't fully seen yet. And once you see them, you gain power over them. Have you ever said to yourself, why do I keep ending up in the same situation? Why do I keep reacting like this when I know I shouldn't? Why does the same cycle keep showing up in my life? Different people, different situation, same emotional outcome, same frustration, same hurt, same confusion. And that's because a lot of what we call life repeating itself is actually emotional patterns playing out. Emotional patterns are behaviors and reactions when we repeat, when we are triggered. They can look like shutting down when things feel overwhelming, becoming defensive when we feel misunderstood, pulling away when we feel hurt or rejected, over-explaining ourselves consistently, people-pleasing to avoid conflict, staying silent even when we need to speak up. And I want to say something important here. These patterns did not start randomly. Most of them started as survival. At some point in your life, these responses helped you cope. At some point, they helped you get through some difficult times and situations. At some point, they protected you. But what protected you is one season and one reason may not be serving you at this time. Let me give you an example. Maybe you grew up in a space where you didn't feel heard. So now as an adult, you over-explain everything. Every feeling, every decision, every thought. Not because you're wrong, but because somewhere deep down, you're still trying to be understood because you were misunderstood or just silenced. Or maybe you grew up where conflict didn't feel safe. So now whenever tension shows up, you shut down. You withdraw. You go quiet. You disappear emotionally. Not because you don't care, but because your nervous system just learned that silence meant safety. And this is where we have to pause because you understand the why. You stop attacking yourself and you start becoming curious instead. Emotional awareness is not just naming feelings. It's deeper than that. It's being able to notice what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, what's the trigger, what's triggering it, how your body is reacting, and what patterns is being activated. A lot of us were taught how to survive, but not always taught how to understand ourselves. We learned to push through. We learned how to keep going. We learned how to handle everything, but we weren't able And we weren't taught how to pause and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? And that question changes everything. Emotional intelligence is not controlling your emotions. It's about understanding them, because emotions are not the enemy. They're our information. They tell you what matters to you, what hurts you, what needs attention, what boundaries are being crossed, what wounds are being activated or attacked. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? We start asking, what is this feeling trying to show me? One of the biggest shifts in emotional growth is learning the difference between reacting and responding. A reaction is automatic. It's fast, it's emotional, it's familiar. A response is intentional. It's slow, it's aware, it gives you space. A reaction says, this feels familiar, so I'm going to do what I always done. A response says, this feels familiar, but I'm going to choose differently. And the one shift changes everything. Not because the situations changed, but because you changed how you move through them. Now, let's be real. Healing does not mean you never react again. It means you start catching it sooner. Maybe before you would shut down for days, now you notice within hours. Maybe before you would send messages immediately, now you pause first. Maybe before you would get annoyed at everything, now you say one honest sentence instead of disappearing. That is growth. That is emotional awareness. Because a lot of what we see on the surface is not the real emotion. Anger is often hurt. Control is often fear. People pleasing is often fear of rejection. Defensiveness is often shame. So instead of asking, what is wrong with me? We start asking, what am I protecting? And that question alone can shift everything. One of the most powerful tools you can learn is to pause. Not avoidance, not suppression, just a pause. A moment between what's happening to you and how you respond to it. Because in that pause, you get your power back. You are no longer reacting from old wounds. You are choosing from awareness. And this is the shift I want you to take with you today in your journey. I can interrupt the cycle now. Tell yourself that. You can. The cycle ends with you. I can interrupt the cycle now. I don't have to repeat every pattern I learned. I don't have to react the way I always reacted. I don't even have to stay stuck in emotional loops that don't serve me anymore. I can pause. I can become aware. I can choose differently. And every time I do that, I create something new. A healthier pattern, a stronger mindset, a calmer response, a healed direction. And when I choose differently, the cycle stops with me. The cycle ends with me. Not because everything around me changes, but because I choose to change how I respond. The pain may have started before me. The pattern may have been learned. But healing begins when someone says, it ends here. And today, that someone is me and you. I want you to say with me, I am becoming more aware of my patterns. I can recognize my emotions without judgment. I can pause before I react. I can respond with wisdom and intention. I can interrupt cycles that no longer serve me. I am healing. I am growing. I am choosing differently. One moment at a time. So thank you all for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may need it. And this week, I want to focus on want you to focus on just one pattern this week and change it, not to judge it, just notice it and work toward changing it, because awareness is where healing begins. Now, this is Healing Out Loud. And remember, I can interrupt the cycle now. The cycle stops with me. And if this message spoke to you, come back for episode 7, because we're going deeper. We're going deeper into something a lot of us struggle with. Letting go without closure. How do you move forward when you never got the apology? How do you heal when the conversation never happened? How do you release something that never had the clear ending that you deserved? We're going to talk about all of that and more. Until next time, take care of yourself, give yourself grace, and keep healing out loud. I love you all.